So the key facts of the case we're looking at is that there is a 35-year-old man. The name I'm going to use is John Smith, and he's married with 2 children, aged 7 and 9, and a third on the way, and he's Muslim. The problems he's facing is alcohol addiction and marital problems. Him and his wife are living separately, despite the fact that he wants to work things out, because she said a year ago to get sober or she would leave with the kids, and he, despite trying, could not get sober. He tried a 12-step program for 2 months, but felt like he did not belong in the program because he's Muslim. And he currently wants to get sober, but doesn't really know how to. So the theory I'm going to use to describe this situation is role theory. And his role as a husband is compromised by his alcohol addiction, leading to separation from his wife. The role as a husband is to work, which compromises his ability to get emotional help, because he's just expected, at least in America, to work, right? Which leads to further issues with his alcohol addiction. This is also furthered by his role as a Muslim, preventing him from accessing recovery resources in America, which is very Christian-based, especially the AA community. So the theory I'm going to use to resolve this problem is the empowerment theory. We can start by finding ways to help the direct power block of him being Muslim in America by finding Muslim-friendly recovery communities like AA, and we can help the indirect power blocks as his role as a Muslim and a man personally with cognitive behavioral therapy, which will help him deal with the internalized depression of that and will help him in his actions in addiction. By using therapy, we can help him change his belief systems, that he can act to help him believe that he can control his circumstances and actually help himself, which will help him maintain connections with his wife. And an important part of this is to maintain connections with people that have similar problems, like in groups like AA. Well, we will know when the client is ready to terminate when he has a community of people with similar problems that he can connect with and an ability to change his circumstances and believe that he can change his circumstances, which can be through therapy and AA groups. Would both be great for those when he has those resources and the ability to stay sober. It will help him as a person and will help me understand that he's ready to terminate. The systems that I use to organize this case, it starts out with the individual and his problems with alcohol, and then goes to the microsystem of his wife and kids. And that's the core of the problem, is his problem with alcohol and his problem with his wife. And then we go to the meso to help solve the problem, to find him organizations for therapy and recovery like AA, which will help him in the micro and meso levels of maintaining interpersonal relationships and relationships with his community as someone in recovery. The developmental stages that I saw that he might have problems with would be the industry versus inferiority, where he may feel like he's inferior, which is possibly what's leading to the alcohol abuse, is that feeling of inferiority. And that's also compounded by a possible issue with autonomy versus shame and doubt, where he feels like he has poor self-control, which again would lead to problems with alcohol abuse. These both would lead to conflict as his role as a husband and a father by him having problems with alcohol abuse, which is what led to his separation from his wife and children, obviously. So I think overall the main things that we can do to help this potential client is to find AA groups, to find a therapist. Both of those would have to be Muslim friendly, obviously, but I think that would be a good way to start.